playoffs getting it right, or not necessarily getting it right, but working out for once. Just like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Maybe not. So I guess what we're hoping for here is, ideally a Cubs Blue Jays World Series is what I'm hoping for. Would be the closest thing to my predictions I could get. A Houston Astros Chicago Cubs, or Houston Astros New York Mets, just Houston in general, representing the American League versus any of these remaining National League teams would be a little weird, but cool and interesting to see, and much needed for Houston. Kansas City trying to get back. They were oh so close last year. Honestly, they're the one I'm rooting for the least now. Probably other than I'd say the Dodgers I'm rooting for the least, and then probably the Royals. I'd love to see Toronto in the World Series, and I'd be very happy with Houston in the World Series. Cubs or Mets, I'd love either one of them in the World Series as well. So if you're missing out, I mean, did you get all that? Every series in these baseball playoffs have been an upset, or a game 5, going all the distance, or both. So you need to tune in. If you're not, if you have been, pat yourself on the back. Hope you enjoyed the games tonight, and hope you're looking forward to the Mets on the road at the Dodgers game 5. Like I said, I believe that is tomorrow night. And there you go. Boy, that's what we got for baseball. Whew. All right, I guess Balls on Fire is officially out. We're keeping a fairly good pace, fairly good time here tonight. All right. Well, for the, I guess, what we'll call the meat of the show, or the meat topic of the show here tonight, then, we will go, that's right, women's professional basketball. Hello? Hello? Are you still there? No, but seriously, the 5th and final game of the WNBA Finals is tonight in Minneapolis. It's probably over by now. Again, not sure what time the show is getting on tonight. And hopefully it has my and possibly your Minnesota Lynx winning their 3rd WNBA championships in a 5-year period. If they are able to do that tonight, it will be the first time ever for them that they will win a championship on their home court in front of their home crowd, which I heard all throughout today on KFan and various other sources that it was expected to be at least 15,000 people at Target Center, if not flirting with the 20 to 22,000 capacity. So awesome to see that level of positivity, energy, enthusiasm, and support for any professional women's sport, but especially a team sport and our Minnesota Lynx. So hopefully they are able to defeat the Indiana Fever, who were able to force a Game 5 at home in their last meeting. The Minnesota Lynx, I believe, lost Game 1, won Games 2 at home, and then 3 on the road. So they were down 0-1, tied at 1-1, up 2-1, and then it's a best-of-5 series. So they had the chance to win it in 4 in Indiana. They did not, obviously, or they wouldn't be playing tonight. Scotty Ball. That's like the John Madden pointing out the obvious. Well, Pat, I think the team that scores the most points is going to win this game today. I couldn't have said it better myself, John. No. But anyway, back to the topic. I bring that up because the Indiana Fever have been I mean, obviously they haven't lost an elimination game or they wouldn't be in the finals again, John Madden. But they've faced several elimination games throughout this whole playoffs, and they've been extremely resilient and impressive every time their backs have been against the proverbial metaphorical wall in these WNBA playoffs. And as I've mentioned throughout these WNBA playoffs, which I have talked about them every week here on the show, the Indiana Fever, as they were the 3 seed, took on the 2 seed Chicago Sky, who had the league MVP on it and is every bit the league MVP, won that series. Then they took on the 1 seed New York Liberty, who was the number 1 seed not just in the East but in all of the WNBA, Minnesota Lynx being the number 1 seed in the West but the number 2 seed in the NBA. They beat them as well. Want to say that one went, the maximum 3 games. First round and second round are all best of 3 series in the WNBA playoffs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep. And finals are best of 5. So the Minnesota Lynx would not have even had home court advantage in the finals had Indiana not been able to beat the New York Liberty. So you can't take this Indiana team lightly at all. You can't go, well, they just won game 4 because it was at home and it was, classic one of those games, but we're the better team and da-da-da. This Indiana Fever team has proven throughout the entire season and the entire playoffs that the second you take them for granted or underestimate them, they are going to pull off an upset. That's been their MO. So it is crucial and important that the Lynx tonight, if they're going to win the championship, find a way to plant their foot firmly down on the gas pedal, get in the driver's seat, foot down on the gas, control the game, control the pace, be efficient with your offense, be effective with your defense. But they need to come out, play their best out of the gates, and then continue to do that. If anything less than that performance from the Minnesota Lynx for 4 quarters, and I believe Indiana will upset the Minnesota Lynx, rain on their fans and everyone here in Minneapolis' celebration plans this evening. And that's how I see it. It's not the type of game that we're going to do our best and Indiana's going to do their best, and in the end, Indiana just won. No, if we play our best for 4 quarters, we win, period, regardless of what Indiana does. The way we don't win is if we don't play our best for 4 solid straight through till the final horn. That's what they have to do, because the Fever are relentless and resilient. As I mentioned, they will capitalize off of every mistake you make. Therefore, you have to minimize how many mistakes you make. Don't allow them to force as many. But you don't necessarily, I'm not saying necessarily that they should be conservative. Like I said, the best way for them to do that is to get in the driver's seat early, put the pedal to the metal, and then keep it that way for 4 quarters. Ultimately, like I said, if they both played their best, Lynx are the better team. So that's my pick, and not just because I'm a homer. But I am a homer. So, yeah, as soon as the show's done here, I'm definitely going to check and see if my Lynx are three-time WNBA champions, or if the Indiana Fever win what would be, I believe, their first. All right. I know that was a mini-sized meet. Yeah, well, too bad. Whatever. football's pretty much always the meat now here. You know that. However, okay, so speaking of show segment names, we've got Balls on Fire, what I'm most fired up about at the beginning of the show, which we did already. We got the meat, which is, our hardiest, meatiest topic. Lame, I know. But it's what we got. So last week, I named the football segment, because now that it's football season, we have a huge football segment basically every week on the show. And we called it Balls Breakdown. But now, due to much appreciated listener interaction, if nothing else, at least for this episode number 35 of the show, we'll see if the FCC, what the FCC has to say about it. But we will have a new name for our football segment coming up this week on Balls Deep Sports Talk. We'll get to that in just a few moments. Again, thanks for listening. However you're listening, if WNLMradio.com is up and running, thanks for listening on that. If not, thanks for tuning into the show via the Spreaker app, the TuneIn app, SoundCloud, or YouTube. And also, to stay up to date with all show news, what we're airing on, when we're airing, what's going on, tell me how stupid I am, stuff like that. Follow me and like me, friend me and like me, on Facebook. Search Scotty-Ball. And please, if you are on Twitter, follow the show on Twitter at BDST Show. Alright. Well, since we're calling that the meat for this week's show, please, don't take this bad. I don't intend it this way, but just whenever we have juicier topics that are off-field related with, within the sports world or involving athletes that you are familiar with, we call that segment Balls Juice, and preferably it comes after the meat, when, we give you the meat and then after that you get Balls Juice. It's horribly ironic and hopefully not in too bad of taste. Please, I don't take it that way. That's not how I intend it to come across. It is just the irony of it all. But there is, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, a very serious NBA player-related story. Since we had WNBA, we'll kind of combine it. It's, co-meat / Balls Juice as well. It'd be the second half of the meat as well as the Balls Juice segment for this week's show. But it involves one former Los Angeles Laker / former Miami Heat / Los Angeles Clipper who did he all play for? The Mavs. He played for a lot of people. But anyway, one Lamar Odom. If you don't remember his professional basketball career, you probably would be familiar with him as Mr. Khloe Kardashian of the Kardashian sisters, the Kardashian family, not Kim and not Courtney, the one married to the douchebag, or used to be married to the douchebag named Scott. No, Khloe, the tallest of them all, and youngest of them all, I'm pretty sure as well, of the three, the Kim, Khloe, and Courtney. They had been married for a while. In recent past, they had split. I want to say I saw today in the Twitter sphere, researching the story, that they are technically still married, that even though they're separated, no longer together, everything like that, that the divorce is not actually finalized, and that technically Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom are still married. Just something I saw and read. Doesn't make it true, but it might be. So anyway, story is, Lamar Odom, sometime Tuesday, which would be yesterday, I don't know, Tuesday evening, I would assume it was Tuesday evening, last night sometime.